Welcome, friends. Today we're going to be talking about my new project vehicle, a 2003 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4. If you're a Jeep enthusiast, you know that these vehicles are often referred to by their chassis code, which for the 2001 to 2004 Grand Cherokee is the WJ. I originally settled on purchasing a 1997 to 1999 Jeep Cherokee, also known as the XJ, but I couldn't find one that was worth purchasing for less than $5,000. My goal for this vehicle was a 4-door, 4-wheel drive Jeep with the 4.0 inline-six engine, below 200,000 miles for around $3,000. Now the XJs, those Cherokees, were way too popular. But I was able to find this Grand Cherokee that had very similar specs for only $2,000 cash. The previous owner said that his tenant abandoned the vehicle on his property and it was sitting for years before he was able to get it running. So I took the chance and made the purchase, very confident with myself that I could get this fixed and in a very reliable condition for no more than $2,000. Now, the known issues for this vehicle, the previous owner let me know, is that it had starting issues. It might have some minor electrical issues. It was in a front end impact, which you could see from the damage to the front bumper. The front axles were clicking. They are the CV joint axles, so those did need to be replaced, or do need to be replaced. Also, the brakes and tires needed to be replaced because the tires had some dry rot, and there was an oil leak coming from both the engine and from the transmission. Now, my plans for this vehicle are to do a full suspension replacement, get rid of all of the old bushings, all of the old ball joints, everything, put in all brand new stuff. Also, replace all of the fluids and gaskets, all new brakes and rotors, new tires, a full engine service, some minor body repair because I'm not good at that. I don't know how to do body repair. As well as many stock upgrades as I can get from Jeeps that are at the junkyard. Now the why I'm doing this with this particular vehicle is that my mother wanted to purchase an older Jeep, and I thought it would be safer for me to purchase it first and then fix it up and ensure that it was reliable and that she wouldn't have to worry about maintenance for a while. My original timeline for this was 3 weeks, but it's been nearly 2 months already and I'm still not done. Alright, so all these extra parts that you see here are from the junkyard. I'm a pull-apart member now, and I've become absolutely obsessed with going to the junkyard and finding parts for the Jeep. Now, I need some of the parts to fix broken items on the Jeep, but I also grab some just as upgrades, including skid plates, a tow hitch, and interior electronics. Now, I'm a nerd, so I took an example window sticker from a 2003 Jeep Grand Cherokee and an example from a modern Jeep window sticker, and I smashed them together to make this mostly accurate window sticker for this Jeep. I also added important information that I thought was valuable, and I updated the EPA data based on changes that they made in 2008. and this is the result. All right, so taking a closer look at this, you'll see that the vehicle's color is a pearl maroon, essentially, with a nearly black interior. It has an automatic transmission with a selec-trac transfer case, which can mimic all-wheel drive while still having a dedicated two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive high, and four-wheel drive low. The Grand Cherokee does come with four-wheel coil springs, as well as some other standard features above the normal Cherokee. These features include keyless entry, power windows and locks, and cruise control. A huge benefit for me is that the Jeep included a trailer tow prep option, which upgraded the gearing to 373 gears. It added a heavy-duty mechanical fan, and it was pre-wired for trailer wiring. Now, back in 2003, this would have cost you just under $30,000 for this Jeep, which is around $47,000 in today's money based on records of inflation, right? This Jeep isn't very economical as far as fuel economy, based on the engine design and the fact that the front axle drivetrain is always locked all the way back to the transfer case, even in two-wheel drive. There's no automatic locking hubs or manually locking and unlocking hubs. It's always locked. Now, the rollover rating for the vehicle is pretty bad, but we don't have a sunroof, and we'll make sure to widen the stance to help us combat that high center of gravity. Alright, so the expenses for this episode. Like I mentioned, the Jeep itself cost $2,000 cash, but I still had to title it. So tax tag and title was about $314. The bumpers, the receiver, the skid plate, all of that stuff was an extra couple $100. So total, we're at about $2,540 for this episode. Now, I'm still learning, so every single episode I'm going to have takeaways for things that I learned. Right? I don't know anything about Jeeps, and again, I'm not a mechanic, so I'm going to add all the takeaways that I have at the end of every episode. For this episode, I learned that after washing it, the Jeep has a lot more body damage than I thought. But fortunately, in my research, I found that there's a lot of aftermarket support, and there's a lot of YouTube content specifically for the WJ, for this vehicle. Now, I've listed a bunch of channels here. I'm going to put them down in the description with links. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to do that. But also, every episode, I'm going to add the links to the tutorials that I followed to do the things that I do, so that you have a good resource on how to do it yourself. So, this episode's really short. The other episodes are going to be significantly longer. I have hours and hours of footage. I can't even tell you how long. But it should be fun, and I'm going to try and make it as entertaining as possible. So please keep watching. Thank you for watching this episode, and I'll see you next week.